Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today I'm doing this water reflective skull. Let's get into the video. I'm starting off by gluing my eyebrows down. I'm gonna do multiple layers until the eyebrow is completely coated and you cannot feel or see the hairs underneath. For this look, I decided to wear a bald cap, so I'm just going to be placing that on top of my head. This is an old bald cap that I've reused a bunch of times. You can tell that the edge is pretty wonky. I'm gonna lay that flat to my head, and then with liquid latex, I'm going to attach the bald cap to my face. I already have the bald cap pretty much cut to my head shape because I've used it a bunch of times, so when you get it, you'll just have to cut it to your head shape and then attach it like so. I'm pushing on the bald cap to secure it down, and then with liquid latex, I'm attaching the back side around my ears so that you don't see the little flaps. And then in the back, I just tie a little ponytail around it so you don't see the back of it. With liquid latex, I'm going over top of the edge with a wedge and liquid latex. To mattify the liquid latex, I'm just going over top of it with some translucent powder. It's going to keep it from being shiny. To keep my eyebrows from shining through the paint, I like to put a little bit of cream paint on top of them and then set them, then put my body paint on top of them. It keeps my eyebrows from like shining through the body paint. I mixed a dark blue and a white together to get this blue color. I'm going to paint my face and my head this color. I did decide that this color was a bit too dark. So once I colored my whole face, I did go back over it with a little bit of a lighter color, just because when you go ahead to add the shadow with the dark blue, it's not going to come through as great as it would with a lighter base. For the water reflection, I'm just using white body paint, and then I'm drawing random squiggly lines of different sizes. And you're just gonna draw that all over your face until you feel like you're done. And then you're gonna go over top of those lines with more white paint to make them more intense. Because this bald cap is pretty old, I just decided to go over top of where the bald cap is attached to my face and just draw a squiggly line over top of that. So, you know, if you don't put the bald cap down the best, then just draw a squiggly line on top of it, and that's your happy tree version, you know? Shout out Bob Ross. With blue eyeshadow, I'm just starting to add a shadow where I think that the light reflection and shadow would be at. I don't know how to really explain this, but I am trying to be pretty cohesive about it so that it does look, I don't want to say real, but that there looks like there's a method to it. So I don't know, just watch and see what I do, and if it makes sense, then cool. To make the shadow look a bit deeper, I am taking an angled brush with a darker dark blue color, and I'm just going over top of the blue eyeshadow I already laid down, and I'm keeping that pretty tight right to the edge of the line. With a small pointer brush, I'm just taking some black eyeshadow and starting to draw out where the skull is going to be. If you want the skull to look pretty realistic, then I would definitely recommend pulling up a reference image. Or if not, then you can create your own looking skull, and I think that's the fun about doing skulls, is that you can do them in any creative way that you would like to. With a blending brush and a little bit of black eyeshadow on the tip of that, I'm blending out the bit of the socket so that it adds some depth and it looks like you're appearing in, but I didn't want to coat the whole socket in black. I wanted you to be able to see a little bit of that water reflection popping through. To match the eye sockets, I use the same exact method that I was doing. So I'm just adding a little bit of black eyeshadow to the tip of that blending brush, and then just blending on the inside of the cheekbone and jawline so that you can still see the water reflection coming through. To give some of those lines a bit more intensity, I'm just going over top of them with a bit more white body paint. If you want to get even more intense, then you can go over top of them with a white cream paint, because that doesn't dry down and it keeps its intensity. To start out the teeth, I am taking white body paint on a thick painting brush and painting on each of those teeth. I do about 1 to 2 layers on top of those. I wanted to make some of the areas look a lot more deeper without using black paint. So I'm using this super deep black color from Urban Decay called Blackout. It's like the blackest black I've been able to find. And I always use that to just completely deepen up areas without using black paint. So that's what I'm doing here. With a teeny tiny detail brush and black eyeshadow, I'm just going in between the teeth to give them some separation and a little bit more depth. With that small detail brush, I'm just adding a little bit more detail into the skull just to make it a little bit more interesting. I'm also adding some grooves in between the teeth to give it a little bit more realism, and then I'll be shading in between those to add a little bit of shadow as well. To give the teeth a little bit more realism, I'm adding a little bit of shadow on the bottom of the teeth and then on the top to make it look like shadow, so that the very tip ends would be nice and bright. To finish the look, I'm adding some temples, and this is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!